You may have already read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'm going to take the 12 concepts here and apply them to creativity, not just business, because we already have that out there. My main mission is to help people understand that creativity and self expression is a pillar in mental wellness. So let's dive in. The very first thing is desire. Now, we all understand that desire is something that comes innately from within us. So, for myself, I was sitting at a restaurant and they give these crayons to your kids, to my daughter, and they give you a coloring page. And you know what? They throw them away. They are single use items. I was completely appalled. I thought this was just because of the pandemic. It's not. This has been happening the whole time. And inside this research, I found out there's hundreds and thousands of pounds of waste that's happening right now. This caused a desire within me to fix this. So I dropped off a box and I said, hey, I'm a mom. I want to collect these crayons. I want to distribute them to the local schools, the elementary schools. So I've approached many restaurants with this desire to help and keep these beautiful crayons out of the landfill. So the next one is faith. Now, this isn't just faith in yourself. It's faith in the fact that you have creativity. It's innately within you. It's within your birthright. I believe that you are born with it. And I'm sure that you do too, because you've seen that children just wake up and they can grab a crayon and they can just draw. My daughter knows exactly what she wants to color, exactly what she wants to draw. She does not second guess herself at all. It just comes out naturally, like breathing. And I really believe that we should have faith in our creativity, in our artistry, in our self-expression, in our storytelling, in our voice, in our authenticity, right? So the next one is auto suggestion. And I was like, okay, this seems kind of hokey, but at the end of the day, it is how we talk to ourselves. Are we feeding a negative feedback loop or are we feeding a positive one? And for myself, when I was doing the most unwell, I was so self deprecating. I would say, like, who am I to do this? Why would anybody listen to me? What's the point? My life doesn't matter. It was pretty dark. And I could not get out of that negative feedback loop. And one of the things that I needed to say to myself was, I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. I know it seems really cheesy, but in this, I started a self development journey and how important it was to go find things that resonated with me, resonated with my divinity, my feminine power, and how important that was. So now I say, when I wake up in the morning, what do I want to do if I was living in my highest potential? And mine is sharing knowledge. It is all about sharing knowledge, and it's adding value to the people that I connect with. Next is specialized knowledge. Now, why is specialized knowledge so important? Now, this is the crazy thing. One, AI can tell you anything, anytime, anywhere, right? Specialized knowledge means that you're going to find something that's really, really innately attuned to you. I went on a discovery of therapeutic arts, which led me down a squirrel hole, a little tunnel here. I spiraled into finding people that were actually speaking my language. Healing with the Arts was one of the books that I read, and it opened this world that it can be a spiritual container as well as a creative container for self-expression. And as I moved through this journey, I was like, oh my gosh, I have been listening to very generalized knowledge on YouTube and reading very generalized self-help books. And it wasn't really attuned to who I am and what I was trying to become. Next is imagination. Now, how important is imagination? How do we tap into imagination? Is this such an abstract, ethereal thing? Well, it's not. One of the biggest things about imagination is we have to get quiet to hear it. And I know that is not something that we're all very well versed at. I noticed when I was younger, when I was 16, I had my headphones on all the time. How can I tap into anything if I'm consistently blasting and consuming things into my brain? I wasn't able to tap into my imagination. It was actually when I slowed down to the point where I was like at the end of my day and I would smoke my cigarette and think to myself, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to create? And I would sit there and I just like stare off into space and think to myself, like, hey, actually, I want to do a painting, or I want to play a song, right? I want to pick up my guitar. And through that process, you're able to tap into your imagination. One of the best ways to do this is meditation. And there's so many different types of meditation out there that's free. So just find your vibe, find your thing that speaks to you, right? So you can tap into your imagination. And sometimes it is as simple as scribbling and looking for something that pops out, right? It's like journaling, free flow, conscious writing. What in that paragraph that you just free flow wrote that stands out to you, right? Organized planning. Now, I'm not into hustle culture. I don't care about it. Love that. Maybe organized planning is actually putting a board up that's gonna stay up. Planning is your pre-game, right? Are you actually making time for yourself? Is this something that you find so important that you're going to put it in your calendar? Now, as a mom, a lot of the times we put everybody else first. We're in this caregiving role. We put ourselves last. I shower last. Maybe I eat last. I feed everybody first. And I think a lot of times we do that. We put our jobs before us. We put our kids before us. We put everybody else's needs before our own. And in creativity, the only way to create is if you put it first. And that's putting yourself first. It is a form of self-care. So the organized planning piece, when I see this and when I heard about it, was like, I need to put my creativity first. Decisions. Now, this is not about being good at deciding. This is actually about having an idea and just doing it immediately. So, in fun terms is, when the kids are like, I want to go kick a ball, and they don't even hesitate, and they're like, I'm going to go kick the ball. I'm going to go find the ball in the garage, and I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to kick it. They act immediately. They don't wait, because if you wait too long, then you're going to get distracted by something else. And for a lot of us, it is doom scrolling. And that prolongs it to the point where it's no longer an even active idea anymore. So it's making the decision immediately when you have that inkling, that feeling. You're like, hey, I want to play my guitar. I'm going to do it right now. I want to kick the ball. Let's go kick the ball. I want to ride my bike. Let's go ride my bike. Like, it's so easy nowadays to get distracted and just end up somewhere else instead of right here in the present moment with what you want. 8 is persistence. Okay, you can't even read that. I'm literally just scribbling now. But persistence is all about not giving up. I think a lot of times when we don't do the thing, we just feel bad about ourselves. So here's a prime example. I don't go to yoga, I feel bad. I feed into that negative feedback loop, and then I don't go to yoga anymore, and I just give up on the whole idea. So one of the things about persistence is giving myself grace to do it again. Hey, it's all good. You didn't go yesterday. What are you going to do tomorrow? That's a smaller step. That's something that is bite-sized that I can do. Now, maybe it's not an hour-long yoga. Maybe it's 5 minutes, and that's okay. But persist. Keep doing it. Maybe this drawing sucks. You know what? The best artists out there have drawn 1 million pictures. The best musicians out there have practiced a lot of hours. Nobody is just born with it, but the love within it that it makes you feel when you're doing it for you and not for performance, it's easier to persist. And if you're doing it for you, then it's always something that's heart-led, and that is so much more important. Master the mind. Now, I see this as every single time I get triggered by something, I have to ask myself, why am I being triggered? What is the resistance to doing this? So for instance, we'll come back to yoga. Why am I feeling so triggered? Well, one, I feel bad I let my yoga teacher down. Two, I feel bad I let myself down. And three, I feel like I'm letting my body down. So now I have all this guilt, blame, shame, all those fun emotions. But really, am I mastering my mind? Like, what's the most important part? If I'm so tired that I can't go, am I honoring that? And what is it in my mind that I need to do to give myself some self compassion and love? Because the next time I decide to go work out and go to yoga, I don't want to be in this place where, like, I feel bad. I would much rather be in a place where it's like, hey, I'm doing that for me. Fuck yesterday. Who cares? Okay. Number 10. Sexual transmutation. I always think of this as like, have you ever seen Brotherhood, alchemy, like the Full Metal Alchemist? This is what I think of transmutation. But the sexual energy is actually coming from your sacral, your creative energy. And for the people who do understand chakra energies, this is your creative power. If you don't have the sexual drive and the passion and the flow and the energy behind your work and your effort, it doesn't translate. It seems very flat because you came into the creative act feeling flat, and you're going to produce something that also feels flat. So when you're coming to something with the edge, with the vibe, with the feeling of feeling sexy or powerful or confident, it will translate into your creative pieces. Almost done here. Subconscious mind. When I think of the subconscious mind, I think of something much bigger. This is like letting go of the outcome, letting go of the journey, and being really present in the moment. However, when I think of the subconscious mind, is like, what am I thinking right before I go to bed? And what am I thinking right when I wake up? Do I reach for my phone? I've actually stopped doing that. So in the first 30 minutes of my day, I let the energy flow through me. I give it good vibes. I tell myself, like, you're going to have a beautiful day. And my eyes are still closed. And it's the same thing as at night before I go to bed. I'm having a beautiful day. I had a beautiful day. I'm so grateful for the life that I live. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be a nurse, to be a mom, to record videos about weird shit. And it's so important that I channel that energy into my subconscious mind. Your mind can do a lot of things at night. If you haven't read the Silva method, like, it's all about speaking to your mind. It's all about dreaming. It's about visualization and manifestation. And that all happens in the subconscious mind. I'm going to digress for a moment for a side tangent. Is one of the most important things about manifestation is that if you can't visualize it and you can't feel it in your body, it's not going to fucking happen. And I didn't think that that was true. But then I started doing it and things started to happen. I got a job. That was like my dream job. They offered me more money. Then they offered me more money because I felt like I was like envisioning in my mind. I was like, I don't feel like this is enough money for me to be fully aligned. They gave me more money. And then I was like, okay, I want something that's very specific that's going to help me with my coaching. The perfect coach just comes and knocks on my door. Actually, she sent me a video. Was like, hey, I thought of you, Jenny, and are you still interested? And I'm like, yes, this is perfect timing, because I'm stepping into that visualization, that feeling where my body is like opening to the universe and says, yes, I am ready for this opportunity. And the universe was like, hey, I hear your calling. I hear your subconscious thoughts. I know what you're putting out there. I see your frequency. I see your vibration. Here's your thing. Number 12, the brain. The brain itself is, what are you consuming, right? Are you consuming broke energy? Are you hanging out with broke energy? And what is your brain doing with this? I think of the brain as the conscious mind. I think of it as the sense like, if you hang out with a bunch of people who like play music, you're going to be more attuned to play music. You hang out with a bunch of people who are painting in a room, you're most likely going to like give it a try. But if you hang out with a bunch of people who are like, I'm not an artist and I don't know how to play music and only talented people can do it. Sorry about the weird voice. It really is not going to happen for you. This is like broke energy. I hear this all the time. You hang out with 10 people that all talk about being broke all day long, you're going to start thinking that you're broke, even if you're not. Even if you have $50,000 saved up in your bank account, you're going to start thinking that you're broke because you're hanging out with broke mentality. Hang out with the successors, hang out with the creatives, hang out with people that are doing the things that you want to be doing. Listen to the people that are doing the things that you want to be doing to prime your mind, right? And the last one, and I love this one, The Sixth Sense. I always think of the movie, not like that, we're not seeing ghosts, but it's almost as important as seeing ghosts because you're listening to the insights, you're listening to your intuition, you're listening to your authenticity, you're listening to the nudges. There is always going to be a moment in your life, even if it's as simple as reading a menu, you know if you want the spaghetti or the steak. Right? You know if you want to hang out with this friend or not. You know if you want to create or sleep. Your body knows, right? Listen to that sixth sense. When you follow it and it continue to follow those nudges, it will lead you to amazing places. Now, thank you so much for listening to me rant. I'm feeling extremely energized. My name is Jenny. If you haven't met me before, like, subscribe. It's been an absolute pleasure.